In this video, we're going to talk all about Google Ads optimization score. Specifically, I'm going to cover what actually is the optimization score. Importantly, is it actually worth paying attention to? And make sure you watch the whole video because I'm going to walk you through 3 different Google ad accounts and their recommendations tab, which is where the optimization score lives, and show you which recommendations are worth paying attention to and which are complete garbage that you can ignore and are really designed for you to spend more money for often little result. All right, and we're going to do this right now. So before we dive into these Google ad accounts, it's really important to touch on what actually is the optimization score. Essentially, it's a percentage that Google give you on how well your ad account is going to perform to its potential. So 0% being the worst, 100% being the best. All right. But you know what? I want you to understand, I don't want you to be alarmed that if your optimization score is quite low, because you have to understand where Google is coming from with these optimization scores. Essentially, what Google want is they want your ads to be across the entire Google ad ecosystem. Shopping if you're e-commerce, search, display, YouTube, Gmail, discovery, everything. And maybe that's not right for your business, and most likely it's not. So take your optimization score numbers with a grain of salt. I've actually found a help article by Google here which explains what their optimization score is, as you can see here. And as you'll see also, they give you recommendations of how you can improve this score, which we're going to dive into right now in a number of different accounts. But bear in mind, take these recommendations with a grain of salt because you need to be able to determine which recommendations are worth paying attention to, which are right for your business and your goals and your strategy, and which are not, which are really in line with Google's goals of getting you to spend a whole lot more money, often for very little result. So if we go and dive into one of the Google ad accounts here, you'll see here that this particular account has an optimization score of 71.7%, not 100%. And I know firsthand from helping these people that they're actually getting really good results from their campaigns. They're making money, they're getting in front of exactly their target audience. Their strategy is very, very targeted, and they're doing so without that 100% optimization score. And that's because we can discern the recommendations that Google give. All right, so as you can see here, the top recommendation, it says here, is to create a Performance Max campaign. The thing is, Performance Max type of campaign is not right for this particular type of business. They're already running a well-performing shopping campaign. They've already got search campaigns that are performing really well. And if we were to launch a Performance Max campaign, then it's going to completely kill those shopping and search campaigns, and we won't be able to we won't be able to really optimize our Performance Max campaign in the same way that we can do with these manual campaigns. I actually have another video where I talk about what Google doesn't tell you about Performance Max. I'll put a link in the description. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth checking out because, Google is pushing this product hard. And so, it's going to reward us with a 7.7% improvement in our optimization score. But the truth is, it's actually not right for this particular client. All right. It's also asking us or telling us to improve our responsive search ads. That will improve it by 5.8%. I know from what they suggest is they just suggest to add more headlines and more descriptions. Sometimes the problem with doing that is that the ads don't read well. If you have, the maximum allowable headlines which are 15, sometimes the ads just kind of read really weirdly, right? So I'm actually not a fan of using all the 15 headlines. I kind of like between 5 and 6, which yes, doesn't give me the best optimization score, but I know my ads then get a good click-through rate and good conversion rate because they read well and they make sense to the target customer. Okay, so you can go through each of these recommendations here. So bidding and budgets, it's asking me to set a target CPA, which might not be a bad suggestion if the leads are coming in too high. So I will think about that, Google. It's also telling me to adjust my budgets. No thanks, Google. Client is happy spending the amount that they are currently spending. If I go to keywords and targeting, It's telling me to add broad match keywords. Now, the problem with broad match is that my ads are going to show up for a whole bunch of stuff that I actually don't want. And so therefore I would only implement that if I have not getting enough traffic from Phrase or Exact Match, which I am for this particular client, which is why you need to really discern what is good advice and what is bad advice from Google. If we go to ads and assets, that's what I mentioned before, and automated campaign is the Performance Max campaign. So really, once again, taking Google's recommendations with a grain of salt. Let's go dive into another account now. You'll see here, this one has got an even lower optimization score. It's got 68.2%, right? So this is a really local type business, and they're in the sort of the health space. So Google's recommending I create a Performance Max campaign. Again, no thanks, Google. That's actually not right for this type of business. For a local business, really it's all about appearing in the Google Maps and a very, very targeted Google search campaign. It makes no sense for them to do YouTube or even really display. So creating a Performance Max campaign is actually just going to waste them a lot of money and probably for very, very little result. All right. So once again, we're going to disregard that. If we go into, we can have a look at some of these other ones. Fully automated bid strategy, not sure. Raise budgets, no thanks, Google. And it's asking, it's recommending some other suggestions. If we go dive into this other account real quick, you'll see actually that it hasn't given me an optimization score, but it's just giving me some recommendations, which is to add the business logo to my search ad. Yep, that's probably not a bad suggestion. To enable automatically created assets. No thanks, Google. I like to create my own assets. It's asking me to add lead form ads. No thanks, Google. I want to send people to my website. Add broad match keywords. Once again, no thanks. I'm going to show up for lots of irrelevant things. So you can see here how a lot of the recommendations are actually not that relevant to my business. They're not in line with my strategy, and they're actually designed for me to spend a whole lot more money than I really like to, often for very, very little result. So there you have it, 3 different recommendations in 3 different ad accounts, and hopefully you've gained some insight into what recommendations are worth implementing and which are worth ignoring. That's what you need to be able to do. You need to be able to determine if it's right for your business goals, right for your strategy, and therefore worth implementing or not. If you like this video, let me know in the comments, hit that thumbs up icon, subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for watching.